What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Shabazz. Welcome to the channel. So, the NFL season is a couple of days away. I'm so excited. It's about damn time. It's a long summer, y'all. It was a long summer, but we're finally back in the swing of things, and I'm excited for what the season has to come. So today I'm going over the over-unders for each team. Um, if you do decide to bet on these, there are some that I'm not so confident in, some that I mean like not confident is like 50-50. When I say like I'm confident about it, it's like 75%, 80%. And if I say like I would bet, if I had the financial means to bet it myself, I would put that's like 90 to 100%. Like I'm confident about it. Before I get started, drop a like, subscribe if you're new, tell a friend to tell a friend, and let's get right to Arizona Cardinals over under 8.5 wins. I'm going with the under. I feel like I when I did them, I have a whole like Excel sheet. You feel me? But when I looked at their schedule, I wasn't confident that because they played the Rams twice, they played the 49ers twice, they play, and then every single year they like slipped up after like week 10. Like second half of the season for them has been horrendous. So I think the trend stays, and I think they probably get like 8 wins or 7 wins, and plus D Hop is out for the first 6 games. So can Hollywood Brown do it? That remains to be seen. This is not even hate as a Ravens fan because he was on the Ravens, but I just don't think he is, I think, good enough to handle that load, pause, the whole season. So I think under. I'm like more confident about that, but again, hey, anything can happen. So take that with a grain of salt. Atlanta Falcons over under 4.5, bro. Under. I think they're gonna be in contention for the worst team in the league this year. Because they have no offensive line, they have nothing really. They got Kyle Pitts, Cordell Patterson, and Drake London, and AJ Terrell on the defensive side. That's it. Like that's honestly it. Marcus Mariota, Desmond Ritter, whoever's the QB going forward, I feel like it's gonna have a tough time. I just don't think that it'll be easy for them to even win like a couple games. And plus, they might be able to play like I think they play like the Lions or something. They could win that, possibly the Jags or whatever. But they play the Saints twice, and the Saints are going to be an approved team. They play the Bucks twice, and they play the Panthers, which with Baker Mayfield, as much hate as I have on the guy, he's gonna be way better than any quarterback that they have. So if you're looking at it that perspective, I think that over under 4.5 is it's not an easy. Like I'm not 100% confident, but I'm definitely more confident about that than anything else. Baltimore Ravens, my team. This is so if you ever like if you're watching the channel and you see me talking about my Ravens, just know I'm coming from a place of bias because that is my team. When I do the pick'ems, right? I'm jacking like you feel me. We winning every game because why not? But when the spreads comes, I'm gonna try my best not to be biased. So if I say we lose a game on a spread, that's okay. But in terms of over unders, we're 10.5. We were fourth place in our division last year, which is crazy to hear. But we were the number one seed before Lamar got injured. And the Ravens are coming back fully healthy. I mean, J.K. Dobbins is still like trying to get his way back to 100%. Gus Edwards hasn't been back yet, but we got Kenyon Drake now. We got Mike Davis now. We got DeMarcus Robinson now. So plus the defense is always going to be the defense. So I think 10.5, that's an easy over. I think if we win 11-6, I would not be surprised. Hell, if we are the number one seed, a lot of people would not be surprised because we were the number one seed last year before Lamar got injured. And plus, we have a fairly easy schedule. I think on top of my head, we play the Saints, we play the Bucks, which are challenging matchups. We play the Bills and the Broncos as well. So those could be challenging matchups. But if we go 2-2 in those, like why not? You know what I'm saying? Buffalo Bills 11.5. I would say the over. I'm going with I'm more confident about that one. I will put money on that because they play in the AFC East. Like they could beat the Dolphins twice, they could beat the Jets, and they could beat the Patriots twice. Like Josh Allen, I will continue to say this. He is the favorite to win MVP, and I would not be surprised if not him or Justin Herbert got it. Or hell, even Lamar again. So I feel like 12 wins is definitely doable. 12-5, 13-4 is definitely doable with the Bills. Carolina Panthers 6.5. I don't know if this was before Baker made like Sam Darnold was the quarterback. I would definitely say the under, but I think Baker Mayfield can definitely sneak a couple of like upset wins. Maybe one against the Bucks and one against the Saints. He definitely could. He definitely can. Will he remains to be seen? But we got CMC healthy. You got DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Rashad Higgins. Like you got a lot of talent on that team, and the defense is it's a above average defense. They had a lot of takeaways and stuff like that. So J.C. Horn was injured last year. He broke his foot. He's coming back. So they have the makings to be a 7-win team. Skip Bayless is jacking them in the playoffs. I wouldn't go that far, but I think this year can set the foundation for where the Panthers want to go. Chicago Bears over under 6.5 is a easy under. They have this is not even no shade to Justin Fields. I'm a fan of his, but when all you have is Darnell Mooney, that's kind of hard. David Montgomery is a solid back. I have him in one or two of my fantasy leagues. Like he's good, but the offensive line is shakes. The defense shakes. You feel me? Like it's gonna be hard to imagine them winning the game. Like they play maybe they tie against the Lions. I said the tie. They split against the Lions. Maybe they upset a couple teams or whatever, but I don't see them beating the Packers. Even with we'll talk about the Packers, but I don't see them beating the Packers. I don't see them beating the Vikings this year. And so there's a good other team that they play, and they play the 49ers week 1. That's an L right there. So I'm not gonna go through every single team schedule, but for what I saw, I had a notepad. I was like, okay, that's a win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, and it came like a couple wins, like 2 or 3, maybe even 4, but under. That's an easy under for me. Bengals 9.5. I'm going with the over. I think definitely like I'm not gonna say they're gonna repeat as AFC champs or whatever, or they're not winning the division, but they definitely can make the playoffs as a like maybe with 10 wins. Now the AFC is stacked for sure, but I do think that they can easily make the playoffs, and it wouldn't be a surprise. Joe Burrow's that guy. Jamar Chase is that guy. Joe Mixon's that guy. T. Higgins, like they made improvements on the offensive line. So I think with Lyle Collins and other like free agencies that they picked up. So it's easy to say like they can easily improve for not a perfect season, but like a good enough season where they're laying the foundation for their success. So 9.5 wins is definitely doable. If I was a betting man, I would definitely put money on the over. Cleveland Browns 8.5 wins. That's an easy under for me. I would put money on that because Deshaun Watson's out 11 games, and then I know his first game back is against the Texans, but even so, he hasn't played football in like 2 years. Well, go at that point will be I think a year and a half or something like that, some random number like that. That's a long time. That's a long time without football, and the fact that you got to go, that's emotional. But the Texans won't be good either. Shit, but they played the Ravens twice. They played the Steelers. They played a thing like that's an easy under because I don't see them winning a lot of the games. Now, week 1 we'll get to that on Wednesday, but we'll see how that goes. But Nick Chubb is gonna have to be like the workhorse that I know he could be. Jacoby Brissett has got to I guess, stay the course, try to be in competitive games, try to upset some games. But he's an average starter. He's a backup, so it's kind of hard to think that he could do anything else than what he already has done, which is like try his best to stay the course. Dallas Cowboys over under 10.5. I'm going with the under. I'm not as confident, like I'm in like the green, like the territory. Like I wouldn't bet it myself, But I don't know. I feel like the depletion of the skill sets. I know Michael Gallup is still there and stuff like that, but he's injured. He's on the pup list. So actually, no, he's not on the pup list. He actually is. They might try to like squeeze him into week 1 or how even week 2, but they play some tough teams and the Eagles improve tremendously. So that's going to be competitive for them. And then I'm pretty sure they play like the top team because they won their division. So I don't know if I would say 10.5. If they won 10 games, if there was like 9.5, I'm like, yeah, that's the over. But 10.5 is a lot. Like to go there to them to repeat their success from last season and go like I think they went 12-5 last season. That's tough. That's tough. But to go 11-6, that's possible. But I wouldn't put my money on that. Denver Broncos 10.5. I'm going with. That's tough. I would not touch this at all. I would say because I don't want to say over or under because Russell Wilson is a good quarterback. Hell, he's a great quarterback. I don't know if because every time not everyone's gonna be like the Bucks even last year. Like when they first got there, they were like he had some good games, he had some highs, they had some lows. Like it was very inconsistent. And then after their bye week, they went crazy. I don't know where you get where if you have a new quarterback and a new system for everybody, there's a new head coach there. You gotta there's no continuity. Like yeah, they had training camp and OTAs and the preseason a little bit, but I don't know if the early start would be ideal. Like me and Matt was talking about it today. We were playing Fortnite together. Like yo, any team these are a lot of heavy hitters in the AFC, a lot of heavy hitters. So then you have them taking each other out. So, and a team like Matt said, if there's a team that has a slow start in the beginning of the year, it's going to be hard for them to catch up and sneak into the playoffs. And I think Denver will be that team that struggles in the beginning, but after I say midway through the season, they get that momentum and try to make a push for the playoffs. But I would say over, but with a grain of salt. Because I still got faith in the defense and Russell Wilson. Detroit Lions 6.5. I think they won't be as bad as last year. They were in a lot of close games, but I do think you're gonna see them be competitive. You're gonna see them be in a lot of games. 6.5 is a lot. I'll say the under. I think they could win 5 or 6 games, but to make it go 7 games, well, I don't know. That's a little too rich for my blood personally. So if I was a betting man, I would go with the under. Green Bay Packers, 10.5 wins. I'm going with the over. And I know what y'all gonna say, but Aaron Rodgers he's on his ayahuasca midlife crisis vibe, but he's still Aaron Rodgers. And he's still a bad man, according to Stephen A, man. So I don't know. I feel like with him, he's gonna make it work. And plus the division is winnable. I don't have them winning the division. I have the Vikings winning the division, but I don't know if you feel me. It's easy to say, oh, they're gonna not do anything because they don't have a wide receiver one. Hell, Aaron Rodgers will make it work. If he has to dump it off to Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon 10 times each with Robert Tonyan, you feel me? If they gotta do that, then shit. By all means. I personally just don't doubt Aaron Rodgers. In the playoffs, maybe. But for a regular season, I'm not gonna doubt Aaron Rodgers. Houston Texans 4.5 under. They will be, along with the Falcons, will be one of the worst teams in the league. If they win, they might upset a couple teams, sure, but I don't know about Davis Mills yet. The direction that they're going in, they have a huge cloud above them, lingering around with the Deshaun Watson stuff. I know he exited the facility, he's exited the team, but I don't know. I feel like part of me is what's next? What's the next? Because that franchise is wacky because they had some shit happen with D-Hop a couple years ago, then last season with Deshaun Watson. So lately, like that Texans team has a little been a lot of a lot of dysfunction. So I don't know if it'll be possible for them to just be like, oh yeah, sure, like let's just do X, Y, Z. No, no. It's a rebuild, full on rebuild. Indianapolis Colts 9.5. I'm gonna go with the same. I don't know. I don't want to say. I don't want to doubt it because Matt Ryan is better at decision making than Carson Wentz, and Carson Wentz almost took them to the playoffs. I think they're gonna make the playoffs because they have a good defense. They got Jonathan Taylor, who's the top 5 running back, top 3 if you want to say that, whatever. And Michael Pittman is gonna take another step forward. Matt Ryan has got to play action and make effective decisions. I think he can do that. I think that they say play the Texans twice and the Jags twice, and they can split with the Titans. That's already 5. Like they can definitely get some wins on other divisions. Like on top of my head, like, I don't have the schedule in front of me, but I think that 10.5, 9.5 is definitely possible. I definitely, if they can get into the playoffs 9-8, that sucks, but I think they could get an extra win and make it a 10-win team. Do I put what I personally put money on that? No, but it definitely is possible. Jacksonville Jaguars 6.5. I'm jacking a win like 6 games, so I'm gonna say the under for that. But again, I'm not as confident about it because Trevor Lawrence, if he's the person that everyone is saying that he's gonna be, like, then shoot, he could probably take them to like a playoff, whatever. I think they're gonna be better than a lot of people expect, but I don't like they're gonna be competitive. They're gonna be like a new face and a new something fresh because Doug Peterson, he's in there now. The Urban Meyer cloud was looming and now it's evaporated. Like that's fine. I just don't think like this year they'll be where everyone else in the AFC. Like they'll be competitive, in my opinion. They made some massive improvements where they needed to do, but next year I think that's when they take another step forward in the right direction. They're in a good direction now, good pace for their rebuild. They had back-to-back number 1 overall picks. Like this is the last time they get a number 1 overall pick. That's what I'm jacking. Kansas City Chiefs over 10.5 wins, over under. It's hard because they played the Chargers twice, who was one of my picks to win the AFC. They played the Chargers twice, they played the Broncos twice, and they played the Raiders twice. And then they played, I think they played the Bills, they played the Rams, they played the Bucks. Like they played some good quality teams. So can they do it? For sure. For sure. They got some, like Patrick Mahomes. Like I know how good the AFC West is now, but Patrick Mahomes runs that division the same way Dak runs the NFC East. This dude Patrick Mahomes is dominant against the AFC West. So I predict more of the same this year as well. So I don't know. I feel like it's easy to say no, maybe, but I got faith. I know they don't got Tyreek, but they still got Travis and they still got Patrick Mahomes. And if you got Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, I think you could win at least 11 games a season. Because they never won less than 11 in the time they've been together. So, but and also with the Chargers, 10.5 as well. I'm going with the over. That's more of an easy over because I think they're gonna win a lot of games. Like they will be productive early, right off the gate. And they have some key games against the Chiefs, against the Raiders, Broncos, right? I think they played the Rams at because they share SoFi, so they played them. And I just think that Justin Herbert this is his year. This is his year to finally get into the playoffs, finally make some noise, and try to like silence the doubters. Because a lot of people on like TikTok, like the gridiron people, whatever, like there's some of them are high on Justin Herbert, like I am, but a lot of them aren't because he hasn't like he's done it statistically, but he hasn't done it in the wins column yet. Like like people forget, like he's in his 3rd season. Like not everyone's gonna have a Patrick Mahomes or like a jump from like like Joe Burrow did. Like there was one of the worst teams in the league and they shot up crazy. Not everyone's gonna have that. Some people are gonna have like a natural progression as the team gets better and better and better. Like the Bills. But yeah, 10.5. That's an easy over for me. Rams 10.5. I'm going with the over as well. The NFC is trash. NFC is trash. The only comp I would say, I don't remember they playing the Bucks. The Bucks, the Packers, and the 49ers. Those are the other three. Oh, I would put the Vikings as like contenders and the Saints, but those are like the second tier contenders. No offense to Natural, sorry, but the Packers because they got Aaron Rodgers. If we got Aaron Rodgers, I think it could be competitive. The Bucks because they're a balanced team, and the 49ers because they had a number last year. They almost beat them, but Jimmy G was the reason why they lost. So, unfortunately, but that's a grain of salt because I think he broke his thumb. So you feel me? He didn't have to play, but he did play. So that's his fault. But 10.5, I don't see. And they played Cardinals. They could beat those teams. Bobby Wagner's a great great addition. They still got J Rand. They still got an AD. Like that's cool. Cooper Kupp, Allen Robinson's a good acquisition that they picked up. He's a solid number 2 receiver. He might be the best number 2, debatably, in the league. I would say T Higgins is up in that conversation as well. But yeah, 10.5. I think if they don't go like 12, 11, 6, 12, and 5, hell, even 13 and 4, and be like a top 2 seed, then it's a failure. Even if but if they don't repeat, then it's a failure, of course. Raiders 8.5. I feel like that's a little light. That's a little light for them. I think they could definitely get 9 wins somewhere. Like they can steal a game versus someone else, but that offense is too good not to win 9 games. They're going to be in a lot of shootouts, which is crazy. But I do think that it's possible. It's definitely possible. And plus simple. It's possible because the offense. But the defensive line is solid. You feel me? Max Crosby, Chandler Jones, like that's good. The secondary is going to get cooked every single week. Unless they play like a team like the Texans or whatever. But even so, bro, we gonna see. We gonna see because I got faith that they can win 9 games. Maybe they make the playoffs. If you're asking me if they're gonna make the playoffs, no, I don't think so. But can they win 9 games? Go 9-8? Sure, I definitely would say that more so than they're making the playoffs. Miami Dolphins 8.5. I think that if they are, then Tua is gonna have a pretty good season. Tyreek Hill, is he that much of a game changer? A stat shifter? Like, is he that much of that? I think so. They still have a pretty above average defense. Mike McDaniel's rookie head coach, so we're gonna see how that goes. They do play the Bills twice and the Patriots twice. The Jets, I don't know. I don't know. They just said that Zach Wilson might be able to play week 1. If I'm the Jets, I wouldn't rush him back. But I don't know. I feel like Bill Belichick, although the Patriots is still like shaky, he's still the GOAT coaching. So he eats like young quarterbacks alive. And Tua, he gotta stop making mistakes. Stop. He's accurate, but he's not. His arm is not as strong. He makes up for it in his accuracy. So if he Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki, Raheem Mostert, Chase Edmonds, like there's a good team, good talent around them. Can they do it? I don't know. I would go with the over, but just slightly. If they go nine games, definitely can go 9 games. 9 games, maybe 8. So I wouldn't put money on that stock. Minnesota Vikings 9.5. That's an over. I have them being one of, if not the most improved team in the league because they was like 14 games last season was down by 1 possession. Like they were like it was anybody's ball game and they lost. Like they went 6-8 in those games. Like that's not crazy. Like I feel like if the Vikings could, like they got a new coaching staff. They're talking about using Justin Jefferson in like the Cooper Kupp model where like he's in the slot and he's outside. Kirk Cousins, as much grief as people hate him, he does have good stats. He does make good stats. Dalvin Cook's top 5. Justin Jefferson's top 5. Kirk Cousins outside of the top 10. But I say he's like 14, 15. He's an average. He's average. He's above average, I think. You feel me? He can win you games. And the Packers are gonna have a down year. The Lions are the Lions and the Bears are the Bears. So that division is definitely winnable, and they could definitely win a lot of other games as well. New England Patriots 8.5 under. That's like if I have bread to put down, that's an under. That's an easy under. There's no direction. Like Bill Belichick, I know like he doesn't want to like stand still, but sometimes like it's okay. They don't have an offensive coordinator. They don't have there's nothing about the Patriots right now that give me confidence to tell me like, yeah, they're gonna win 9 games. No. If they win 8 games, cool. But 8.5, you gotta get that extra win. I don't see that extra win somewhere. Now Bill Belichick will have to coach his ass off to get that, which I think he can do. But if Mac Jones is getting frustrated because there's no offensive coordinator, if you're giving that to Matt Patricia, no, I feel like that's just not okay. Like that's not good for business. That's bad for business. So 8.5, if I had put money on that stock, that's a under for me. New England Saints 8.5. They're very underrated, y'all. Like we're just acting like they don't have a top flight defense. We're just acting like Michael Thomas was not him. He's coming back healthy. Alvin Kamara is still him. For me, Chris Olave, I have faith in that rookie. He's gonna be a good rookie. Might not be rookie of the year, but he's gonna have a very productive rookie season. Jarvis Landry is a good to great slot corner. I'm gonna say slot receiver. He can beat you on the outside as well. He's proven. And Jameis Winston, if he can take that leap, Christian Broussard says that that's his dark horse to win MVP. So if he could be that, I don't see why they can't win 9 games, 10 games. Hell, even challenge Tampa Bay for the division title because they have Tom's number. They in the 2 years that Tom Brady's been there, they've never beaten the Saints. They've never beaten the Saints. And one time they smoked them on Sunday night. I remember that. You feel me? So I think that the Saints can definitely win 9 games, 10 games. Hell, they could challenge for the number 1 seed. But that remains to be. That might be outlandish to say, but I got faith that that's an easy over. That's an easy over. New York Giants 7.5. No comment. Wait. No comment. Now play. I'm gonna go with the under because the Giants could go one or two directions. One, they could trade Saquon, they could trade, whatever. But they made some good improvements. They let go of Bradbury, which was like the one questionable move that they had this offseason. So I was like, well, why did you do that? But hey, if Daniel Jones can be Daniel Jones, then I think that they could win 8 games. Do I have them win the division? No, I do not. I don't. I just don't. But can they leap in there? Possibly. They made improvements on the defense. They got what's this guy's name? Evan Neal out of Alabama. Like they got offensive linemen. They got a solid left tackle. They got Evan Neal now. Kayvon Thibodeau's dealing with his injury that he got. But Saquon needs to have a bounce back. I got faith he will have a bounce back. Can they win 8 games? It's highly unlikely because where? I don't know. So I would say under, but I would be pleasantly surprised if they definitely won 8 games. I'll be high because I feel like football is good when the Giants are good. Like when the Giants are in the playoffs, like it just because they're one of the OG teams, and I'm from New York, so like the whole city is good when the Giants are relevant. You know what I'm saying? Like when Eli was there, they had their down years, but Eli, he brought life to New York. You know what I'm saying? When Odell was there, like they brought life to New York. We had players in New York. I'm not even a Giants fan, but I know a lot of them. So for me, shout out to y'all. But I got the under. New York Jets 5.5. I'm reluctantly to say the over. I think they can get 6. I definitely think they can get 6. I don't know where. Maybe they upset Ravens week 1. Highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. But they can upset the Ravens week one. They could. I think they play the Broncos another week. They could upset them. They play the Patriots twice. They could still win of those. They play the Bills twice. They could still win possibly. They play the Dolphins twice. They could win both or still win. So that there's games in there that are winnable. You feel me? They got some tank bowls in there. And for those who don't know what a tank bowl is essentially where like two bottom tier teams are playing each other, and the winner is a loser because the winner of that game has less chance to get the number one pick or top or upper draft pick. But they're gonna be in a lot of those. But I don't know. I feel like can Zach Wilson be that guy? Does he have that dog in him? You feel me? Over the summer, I think he has, but I think it's become a distraction, and he's injured now. So I don't know. Over, I would say yes, but reluctantly though. Like possibly, but if they don't, like I don't know. Like Robert Saleh's like on a thin leash here, so I don't think they're gonna get that happening. But that's just me though. Philadelphia Eagles 9.5. I'm reluctant to say over. I have them winning the division. Like I have faith in Jalen Hurts. If you're a black quarterback, I kind of have faith in you by default because I love all my people. You know what I'm saying? So I got faith in Jalen Hurts. It's just can he take that step? It's easier now. Jalen Rager is gone because that was a horrible draft pick that they had. We all can agree on that. We all can agree, right? Shout out to my boy Leland from he's an Eagles fan. My boy Leland, I work with him. He's an Eagles fan. I be telling him, like, bro, like I have potential. Like, there's there. Can they win 10 games? They play the Commanders twice, the Giants twice, and the Cowboys. Like, I know historically, like the last couple of seasons, like the Cowboys have had everyone's number, but there hasn't been a repeat champ in a long time. So if this was a season for them not to be a repeat champ, is this year because the historical trends support that. Like they haven't. So like the Cowboys won the division last year, and they look like they're gonna not spiral, but I would say they're gonna look not as complete as years past. But about the Eagles, they were in the playoffs. They got the experience. And now they can use that to build momentum and build a solid foundation around because they're in win now mode. Like the moves they made, that supports that they're in win now mode. They traded for James Bradbury. They got Chauncey Gardner Johnson. They got Jordan Davis, like that big mofo from Georgia. They got him. So like they got players. They got Nakobe Dean in the draft as well. So like they have a solid roster. They got AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. And when I talk about number two receivers, like Devontae, he's up there as well as number two receivers. So like Miles Sanders, can he have a good season? I think so. Would I draft him in fantasy? Absolutely not. But hey, that's just me though. I don't know. I feel like it's a little iffy to say, but I definitely think they can get 10 wins. 10 wins is a possibility. Pittsburgh Steelers 7.5. That's an over, bro. It has never been a season in which Mike Tomlin has not been 500 or better. He's always had a winning season. He's never not. And when people say never, like that's sometimes an exaggeration. But with Mike Tomlin and his years of coaching the Steelers, he's never been a losing coach. So can they go 9-8? Sure. Can they go 8-9 and make it his first losing season ever? Perhaps. But the defense is still great. They got good to great wide receiving core. Najee Harris is a dog. But the only question mark, the offensive line and the quarterback. Is Mitch Trubisky going to start the whole season? I highly doubt that. I think midway through, like probably like after like the first 5 or 6 games, Kenny Pickett will take the start. He will take the reins, and he will have his ups and downs like every rookie has. I think he can make him into a competitive team. And 7.5. I think that for the Steelers, bro. I know they play the Ravens and the Bengals, but they in the NFC, the AFC North is always competitive with each other. We always split. We always I know last year they beat the Ravens twice, but in every game is competitive. That's how deep the rivalry goes. So it's easy that they can go eight games. 7.5. I know they had a lot of stuff going on with the quarterback room, but yo, that's light. That's for Mike T. Come on now, and that's 8 easy 8. That's an easy over. What I would bet it, no, because fuck the Steelers. But that's a I definitely think that's an over for me. 49ers 9.5. See, this is contingent, right? This is contingent on Trey Lance because they have the running game, they have the receivers. Brandon Ayuk, I got faith that you're gonna have a good year 3, my boy. I have faith. I got faith, my brother. George Kittle is top 5. Defense is top. Like it's one of the best. Like Nick Bosa, I think he tore his ACL like 2 years ago. Came back last year. I think he had like 15, 12 and a half. I think he had a lot of sacks. He had a lot from double digit. He can even get even better. He might even be a defensive player of the year candidate. Fred Warner's a top 2, top 3 linebacker in the game. Jimmy Ward's a good safety on that side. You feel me? Like they have a solid team all around. And Mike Shanahan, I said Mike Shanahan. Sorry, Kyle Shanahan, one of the best play callers in the game. Tim, Andy Reid, and McVay. So is it possible? For sure. I think they can get to 9 wins, and they're one of my favorites to win the NFC. Like between the Rams, Bucks, and 49ers, like it's like they're all tier 1. They're all tier 1. So I got respect for the 49ers, but can Trey Lance be that guy? I think so. You black. Come on now, you black. You already in my book. Unless I see you play and you're not, like I don't see the flash. Like Tua, I don't see the flash. I don't see anything. 49ers, Trey Lance, he has the mobility, he has the arm strength, and he can work on the mechanics, he can work on the accuracy, but it's kind of like you're not gonna play. It's like when you're playing a game for the first time, you're not gonna get good overnight. You gotta work on it. You gotta improve. Like when you're playing football or basketball or any sport, you're not gonna be good off the rip. You're good enough. Like, he's good enough. He was good enough to go drafted 3rd overall. 49ers traded like 3 first-round picks to get him. So he leveraged their future on this guy. So do they have faith in him? Sure. And plus, if he doesn't pan out, they still got Jimmy G, the best backup in the game, because you're paying him like 18 mil for him to be a backup. Like, that's dope. You feel me? Now, I think I saw a report that he was annoyed by it. Trey Lance was annoyed by it. But shit, like, I feel like control what you can control. That's my motto for everything. Control. If you play your heart out, if you play the best ball you can play, you don't have to worry about Jimmy G. Jimmy G will support you because they see that you're the best way for them to win games. If you are spiraling, if you're throwing interceptions left and right, if you're fumbling the ball like Daniel Jones, like if you're not producing, then it gives them reason to why they kept him in the first place. But trust and believe, I think a quarterback is going to get injured somewhere, and they're going to trade for Jimmy G, so you won't have to deal with him much longer. But, hey, control what you can control. If you're watching this, if this goes out on social media or whatever, Trey Lance, control what you can control. I got faith in you. Just get right. That's it. Just get right. Seattle Seahawks, 5.5 under. The Titans. Texans, Falcons, Seattle Seahawks. They're going to be the 3 worst teams in the league, bro. Oh, and the Bears. Sorry, Bears too. But the Bears, is, as I mentioned earlier, it's not because of Justin Fields, but Seahawks have no offensive line. They have Rashad Penny, Kenneth Walker. I don't know. DK Metcalf, he got paid. Tyler Lockett, dope. You feel me? But the quarterback, Geno Smith, I know you black, my brother. Feel me? For the love. But I don't know. I seen enough, and I don't have faith. He wasn't good on the Jets. He wasn't good on the Giants. He wasn't good on any team that he's on. Like, I don't know. Pete Carroll is an old school defense running game coach, but the defense is trash too. And plus, you play the Cardinals twice, 49ers twice, and the Rams twice. You're in the best division, well, first or second best division in the game. So it's going to be hard for you to catch those wins. So that's just, I don't know. Like, that's just unfortunate, my brother. So 5.5. If Russell Wilson was there, definitely I would say over, but since he's not, under. Tampa Bay Bucks, 11.5. I'm gonna go with the under. I'm gonna go with the under because, like, on my sheet, I have over, but I'm thinking about it. Right? if there was any year for the cliff, the Max Kellerman famous cliff for Tom Brady, it would be this season. They have the offensive power. Leonard Fournette, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin when he comes back, Julio, Russell Gage. They don't have a tight end. They don't have a tight end. So that's gonna be interesting. They lost majority of the offensive linemen through the injury. That's unfortunate. The defense is gonna take a step back. They're still one of the best teams in the NFC, but to tell me they're gonna win 12 games when they play a revamped Saints team, a hungry Panthers team, you feel me? Like I don't. They play the Ravens. That's an L. Come on now, stop playing. Stop playing. I don't know. I feel like, and I think they play the Bengals too. Like the Bengals definitely could beat them. And if there was any year for like Tom Brady to have that decline, it would be this year when it might all the writings on the wall that this is his last season. You feel me? So that's just me though. I think I'm going with the under. Tennessee Titans 9.5. I'm gonna go with the under, unless they do it. I don't know. Actually, no. I'm not even gonna say it. I have under here, but I don't have them winning 10 games. I got the Colts winning their division, and they're in the AFC, so they're gonna have to play. I think the Chiefs. I think they play the Bills again. That's an L. Like they play a lot of good teams, and plus they were the number 1 seed last year, so that takes into account how heavy their schedule is gonna be. They play a first place schedule. That's gonna be trash. They're gonna get cooked a lot because if you look at the quarterback battles, Ryan Tannehill is not it. And the writing's on the wall for them to replace him mid-season with Malik Willis, for him to get his mechanics and his like football presence up and up for next year. Derrick Henry, I think he's in a free agent year, like he's working to get a new contract. Hey man, that's the King Henry still. I know he doesn't have the title because Jonathan Taylor got the title, but he's still that guy. He's still that guy here. Let me tell him. But I go with the under 10 to win for them to win 10 games. I don't know, 9 games. If there's like 8.5, I would say yes. I think they could win 9 games, but for them to go 10 games, that extra game, that 0.5 is always like interesting because that extra game is like damn, do they do that? And lastly, Washington Commanders 7.5. I'm going with the under because I don't have them winning 8 games. Now, if they do, great. But 7 games, yes. I think Carson Wentz is the quarterback that they need right now. They got, new branding, new name, new color scheme, whatever like that. Like a dark, not a burgundy, but like a dark color. I like it. I like it a lot. It's still a lot of question marks. Offensive line, defensive line, because Chase Young hasn't returned yet. It's a lot of things up in the air with the Commanders. Can Carson Wentz steady the ship and get them a couple wins? Yeah, I think so. I definitely think so. But can it be also a fact of that division is it's a 2-man race between the Cowboys and the Eagles? That's the facts. Can they beat the Giants twice? They could. They could upset somebody. They could. So it's gonna be hard, but I think they could do it. Next year, like this year, we need to see Carson Wentz have a good season, good statistic season. Him cut down on the mistakes, and them to have some continuity because they had Alex Smith, and they had Taylor Heineke, then they had mad moving parts. Nothing consistent, nothing stable. The instability of this franchise is why they aren't as good as they should be, because they have a good defense. When everyone's healthy, they have a good defense. But no, it just doesn't work out that way. So I think they can win 7 games. But again, that half a game is a big difference. Do I have them winning 8 games, going 89, and putting them in a position for next season? It could happen. But if I was a betting man, I would put them at 7 wins. 7 wins. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that does it for this video. I just went over the over-unders for all NFL teams ahead of the season on Thursday. This video will come out probably today or tomorrow morning or afternoon or whatever. So whenever you're seeing this video, just know a couple of things. One, this season's gonna be fun. This season's gonna be fun. I'm excited for it. If you are listening to my bets and my spreads and my odds, if you lose money, don't blame me. Bet responsibly, gamble responsibly, bet above your means. I mean, bet below your means. Like if you have like enough to do a bet, sure, do it. But if you don't, it's okay. Keep track of it. Shit, I'm keeping track of all my spreads, all my predictions, all my pick'em games. Like I'm keeping track of all of it, cause I might not have the funds to do every week, but some weeks, for sure. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like, subscribe if you're new, tell a friend to tell a friend, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
It's funny how nobody certain to somebody sometimes, and still be a nobody. Feel like you're somebody sometimes.